This is part 3 of section 3.4. The following table shows the approximate population and annual growth of the United States and Pakistan in 2010. Use the alternate population model, which they provide to you as P of T is equal to P naught, which will be your initial population, times 1 plus R, which is the rate, T, which is the time in years since 2010, and assume that the growth rate for each population stays the same. Okay, and then estimate the population in what year, so on and so forth. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write a general equation using this information for each one. So for the United States, I'm going to be plugging in the information I've got here. P naught is the initial population, which is 308, times 1 plus the rate, written as a decimal, which is 1.1%, so 0.011, raised to the t power. That's the part we don't know. Okay, so in better form, P of t is equal to 308 times 1.011 to the t. So this is for the US. For Pakistan, we have very similar. P of t is equal to 185 times, I'm going to have the same thing happen here. 1 plus, except it's going to be 0.033. So I could go ahead and go to this step and do 1.033 t. So that is the Pakistan equation. Okay, so let's look at the first question here. Estimate the population of each country in 2020. Now, time is the years since 2010. So in this case, our time is going to equal 10 because it's 10 years later. Okay, so for the US, this is part A. For the US, I'm going to find P of 10, which will be 308 times 1.011 raised to the 10th power. And if you go to your calculator, you'll get an approximation of 343.61 million people. Okay, and then for Pakistan, if I find P of 10 using its equation, I will have 185 times 1.033 to the 10. Go to your calculators, get an approximation of 255.96 million. Okay, so that's part A. For part B, in what year will the population of the United States be 350 million? So I'm going to use our United States function, and I want it to equal 350, so I'm going to put 350 right here where the P of t is. So I have 308 times 1.011 t is equal to 350. Okay, now divide both sides by 308 and you get 1.011 to the t is equal to 350 over 308. If you simplify that fraction, you get 25 over 22. Now take natural log of both sides. Okay, move the t in the front. Sorry, t times natural log of 1.011 is equal to natural log of 25 over 22. Divide both sides by this, and you get t is equal to natural log of 25 over 22 divided by natural log of 1.011. And if you go to your calculators, you will get that this is approximately 11.685 years. And then they'll want you to tell what year it is that it's going to happen in. And different textbooks and different authors handle this differently. It appears to me that this book wants you to consider that this is the estimate on December 31st. So if if our first measurement was on December 31st of 2010, 1 year later, it would be the very end of 2011 and so on. So 11 years from 2010 would be 2021, but then that will be the last day of 2021, and then we go a little bit more than that. So they're going to say that it happens sometime in 2022, because basically it pushed us into the next year. Okay. Now, part C. In what year will the population of Pakistan be the same as the population of the United States? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this equation and this one and set them equal to each other and then solve for t. So I will have 308 times 1.011 to the t power is equal to 185 times 1.033 to the t. Okay, now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do two steps in one. I'm going to divide both sides by 308. So this is going to give me the 185 over 308 over here. And then I'm going to divide both sides by this as well. So I have 1.011 t over 1.033 t. Okay. Now, one of our power rules says that I can take this, since I have a numerator, a fraction, it's just a simple term over a simple term, but they're raised to the same power. I can write it as 1.011 over 1.033 to the t power. This fraction does not simplify. Now I have an exponential equation. I'll take natural log of both sides. Now move the t into the front. Now divide both sides by this natural log, and you get t is equal to the natural log of 185 over 308 divided by natural log of 1.011 over 1.033. If you go to your calculator, you'll get an approximation of approximately 23.679 years. And this is in years after 2010. So that would get me up to 2033, and then we go up a little bit more, which pushes up into the next year. So this is going to happen sometime during the year 2034.